Very, very warm. Good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, and it is the 21st of January 2026. Another Indian football and more discussion on my channel. And let's see what all we want to and can speak about today. Um, Once again, Indian football, and yeah, let's see what we have on that. And yeah, Amelia Valverde now has joined the Indian national team. So she's there in Turkey, and will be interesting to see her ideas, her vision going forward with the national team, and what can the team do or not do, and that will be very interesting to see, in my opinion, because yeah, it's an interesting test to see what she does, what she's able to do. Again, an extensive interview on the AIFF platforms, and otherwise, yeah. So therefore, we will have to wait and see if she can be a positive factor for the Indian national team, um, and that will be an interesting test, so to say. Um, I've not heard anything about the so-called test match, which was supposed to happen today, um, against Antalya Accra Sport Kulübü. So let's see what is that on that. Right. Aditya says Pep's inverted right back, wing back, losing to simple long ball tactic, hoof the ball into the net tactic was really funny to watch. Never thought Bodo Glimt will be handed the first Champions League's victory like that. I think, Aditya, to say that is, you know, a little disrespectful. The question is always, what kind of tactics do you choose against your opponent, right? To me, in this instance, also is sometimes, um, and the Pep strategy of playing, um, also looking at the way that um, Rodri picked up two quick yellow cards. Mm, that's weird. Says Justin Adu, we have lots of African players in there. Why can't we approach them for national team? No. Rahul, nice idea theoretically, but none of them will get an Indian passport. So there's an example, because Timo Keri, big name in Kolkata football in the 80s and 90s, played originally for Mohammedan, for Mohun Bagan, for East Bengal as well. Married to Bengali woman out of Cal, still lives in Kolkata, but that we don't hand out passports to non-Indians, so to say, or not so easily. No update on men's national team so far. No, Aditya, we're in Jan. The camp will happen in March. Matches will happen in March. So I don't see any updates at the moment, except maybe at some stage. Let the ISL start, and then most probably, uh, 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 you know. So that's it. It's the news that Chante along with Munsi players have refused to take the salary cut. I've been reading and listening, so I thought I might approach you. Yeah. So what did you read? What did you read? And what have you listened? Right? A lot of things being said at the moment. Let me call it out that. Hi Akash, welcome back. Is many answer this short up to for Indian coaches? Narendra Samar, Bangalore FC today announced Renedy. Um, and to me, from their standpoint, makes sense to say, you know what, to appoint an Indian coach. So in my opinion, that works. And yeah, it's you know um, it is Chennai will go into season with Clifford as a coach, and yeah. So let's see. Test, yeah, friendly Aditya. Sir, I see Morocco, I feel bad. I see Uzbekistan, I feel bad. I see Indonesia, I feel worse. Our national team isn't a team, but a group of egoistic uncles. I wouldn't say that. You see, that is egoistic again. Give the boys a little bit of respect. Um, they're not playing well. I think the coach or the last three coaches have added to the misery on that. And yeah, where we are, we are. I'm 100% hopeful that our women's side will qualify World Cup. Akash, I hope and wish and agree with you. But again, well, didn't you have also high hopes on the Bengal Super League a few months ago? So therefore, I'm skeptical, very, very skeptical. Only with the Yelkas two down in the second half when it happened. Yeah, but still, right? Okay, you can see two quick goals, but you reduce the deficit and then you kick up two. Um, yeah, so to me, that makes sense. Why Academy not successful, Barca? Why Academy not successful, Barca? If me, I'm right, Ixna and I, Barcelona has one of the best academies in the world. Why is it not? A self discipline is what we poor Indian fans expect. I don't, I don't buy that. Right? Again, um, we expect this, we expect that, we hope this, we hope that. It's very, very difficult at the moment to say what do I, what do you, what do we hope and all wish for. Mumbai City will play. Yeah, Mumbai City is playing, as all are supposedly at the moment. But the question is, even if our women's side qualify for World Cup, will our domestic women's football improve? Will people watch IWL? Will clubs get sponsors? Good questions, Akash. And a simple answer to all of those questions, no. There will be a lot of PR here and there, and people will say this is happening, that is happening, this is possible, that is possible. But will it change anything? Right? That is the question that you rightly pose, I guess. I don't think so. Okay, so apparently Changte, leading the Mumbai City players, have refused to take the salary cut. There was a lot of text, and they just said that any further pressure they will approve something like that. See, Aditya, again, you are apparently, you know, you're saying something. Do you know this? So therefore, um, yeah. So they might also cancel national team. Looks like it. I haven't seen and heard anything. Goa started training. One was back. Good to see the team training. Yeah, Augusto, they're back. Sheffield, that way that Khalid also confused Ita Ami Kotha Ilam. He would have been confused this when, so yeah. Barca Indian Academy going to produce talent in India means India, not worldwide academies. Yes, Barca can be one of the best. Um, uh, Alan the Barca Indian Academy is not a talent academy. It's a pay to play model, meaning you pay to be in the academy. It's not about talent, right? It's about being part of it. So you're expecting something for which the FCB Escola, as it's called, it's not even the Barca Academy, it's FCB Escola, is not there. I think the tactic Bodo Glimt did against Man City was kind of similar to the Khalid Jamil one: park the bus, throw long ball, and hook the ball. What I did point out that the goal scores were 19 and 20. No, you didn't point that out. You pointed something else out. The point to me is, what was the tactics? You can have those kind of tactics. Jose Mourinho has those kind of tactics. But again, you have to have a certain level of quality. At the end, Khalid Jamil is tough. We all know, but when results don't pop out, we naturally doubt him. Well, I would have doubted him even with results. So therefore, I question him. Yeah. Uh, and therefore, Khalid, sorry, is not a right person to coach us. I mean, it shows that if Khalid needs to survive whatever tactics he has, he needs to bring young players to national team players. This is BS. Aditya, this is rubbish. What's your logic? Because the young players, he was able to play the tactics. Aditya, start watching football properly, my friend. I don't know. Sir, chance they can be beatable. Is it sir, Vietnam may have some level India main focus in Japan, only 113 was being honest. None of them are beatable. I would always say, listen, forget Japan, forget Vietnam. We are on the same level of Vietnam, guys. Sorry, you know. Uh, you know, my concern, how much again will hurt Aditya. But again, just to give a reality check, but how many goals did Odisha FC lose to Urava Red Diamond Women? Right. So that's your problem. No? I mean, that's why I wanted to ask you about this because it's doubtful. Yeah, but again, if you have doubts, then you know. Hi, Raj. Yeah, no, yeah, that's the point. Basa Academy in India, or Basa Academy in the Middle East is not a talent development academy. That's to make money. So I still believe Kafa was a fluke. What's your opinion? Yes, of course it was fluke. It was fluke at the moment that it happened. You know, um, so therefore that's the problem. So for me, two throw-ins go in. Okay, nice. In the opener against Tajikistan and against Oman, you're lucky. But again, Tata, why India doesn't have a single world-class stadium? A checked stadium of Selangor FC and few Indonesian clubs just unbelievable. Indian Super League is behind their domestic league. Akash, we discussed it at length yesterday. The stadium topic, in my opinion, sorry, we discussed the realities of Indian Super Leagues and the issue of that stadiums are not easily available because the stadiums are government property, right? Uh, uh, so for me, if that doesn't change, again, today there was footage available of the ground in Chennai, right? Interesting is that they're using stadiums more and more for motorbike events. Very interesting, eh? We had that thing with in Calicut, and now there in Mumbai, they're parking buses on the ground. Yeah, welcome to India, right? In the year 2026, where football stadiums or sporting venues are used for everything else but for sports. So therefore, Akash, there is no need to compare us to Southeast Asia, right? You are mentioning Malaysia, add other stadiums in the Malaysian league. Indonesia, you mentioned. Look at Thailand. Look at smaller size grounds but quality grounds in even smaller countries like Cambodia, Vietnam. Our infrastructure is not good enough, and the problem is when someone wants to build it, you don't allow them to build it. Now that's the whole problem of this whole issue, no? That we are not yeah, that's the reality. What do you think is missing in Indian players for success, like physical stamina, quality, approach, and final third, position awareness, reading the game, acting accordingly? Narendra, physical sometimes, yes, can be a topic, but can be taken care of. I think stamina, I don't think. I think if you can run for 90 minutes, that is fine. There's a quality, of course, quality. But I go back up, my biggest problem is basic football basics. This, what you call positional awareness and other things. The reality is that the players don't learn at the right age the basics of football. And if you don't learn that, the rest is trying to catch up, and that never happens. Man City Pep Guardiola was completely outplayed. Yes, sadly it was so. How in UK seventh, eighth division clubs have so world class infrastructure, but our clubs choose to play at midfield. Akash, as I said, the clubs don't own their stadiums, right? And nobody, again, even if you want to, I take the example of Ranglas Punjab, where there were plans for infrastructure in 2018 until date. And again, the money was at the time, or is even at this time, is not a problem, but it's not there because it is not easy. So that's the point. We do have world class stadiums, and maintenance is the main obstacle. No. Where is your world class stadiums? Rahul, simple question to you. Where is the world class stadiums? Which stadium is world class according to you? Hi, Arunava. I read today former Indian national Marshal Lalitkar died. Yes. Yes. Rest in peace. Sad to see, sad to hear. Yeah. We never have unreal PR world champions, even they've won. Yeah. Again, guys, leave them aside. Let's not discuss about them, as I've said multiple times. There is no broadcast update yet. It is gone. cornering. Well, the league is around the corner. Augusto, as far as I've heard today, there is no broadcaster. And the reality of the broadcast is who, why? You know, but whereas she was with club, then how she ended up with AIFF? Because she was before that with Costa Rica and coached in two World Cups, Raj. So, yeah. Oh, come on. What was the reason to bring that disaster of a match, Arunda? Forget that OFC was Arava retirements thing, bureaucracy. Reason we lost because we didn't have our own main players, but legit kids. So, Aditya, you think that the 17 nil what would have been a 12 nil? I don't know. What are you trying to defend? Again, if in those realities, there's no need to defend. Are those Barca academies, Man City academies are just franchises, isn't it? Eh, is it a franchise? Again, it is a separate entity. It's a separate entity within the commercial system of these clubs. So they are normally run by yeah, is it a franchise? I wouldn't even call it a franchise. It's a FCB Escola or Real Madrid Fundación, or soccer schools of Man City, Arsenal. Man City, Arsenal, for example, were managed a long time by which one? I think Man City was no, sorry, Man United was organized by run by IMG. So there are not even, they're sub licensed to others, and then they license to others, but then coaches who have somehow been trained in those do that. So um yeah, to explain what they are is actually quite difficult in that way, right? So therefore, for me, um yeah, it's not so easy, you know so yeah. Seno Vietnam was yeah, but sometimes condition, even Thailand was better than India in terms of creating chance, whereas India was lucky and then didn't concede. Yeah, but I am again. So you are living on the luck factor. I am living on the reality of things, and if we win, I will be very happy, as you see with my with me crying when we beat Thailand. But again, this is a different level. Everyone is coming top prepared. I remember the goalkeeper who was a great goalkeeper actually got trauma for a year. Okay. Tata, there is no broadcast update. We've discussed it. There is no broadcast. Hey Kumar, welcome back. Our actors and big ones are counting on scooter reels for makeup. Yeah, Raj, that's the problem. No? Nobody understands. Broadcast update maybe first. Yeah, the broadcast update is that there is no broadcast update, right? So that's the thing. So I really cried on the day we lost to Bangladesh. Realized power, even at the smallest extent, lies within people like you, sir, who hold people accountable. Thanks, Rahul. I try. But that day against Bangladesh, I was disappointed, but I met friends. I was in London, I met friends, and this is not everything. But yeah, where are we? What are we? That was reality. But sir, we don't have infrastructure, sir. We how we play, sir. Again, that's a reality. So yeah, that's the those are realities. But again, the infrastructure, I was talking to someone who was telling me about an academy in Ghana, and he was showing me some footage of Ghana, an academy in Ghana, which not even academy, it's a football training hub or not even a hub, football, whatever. It's a training place, right? And that training place has been sending now players to Europe, right? They have players in the system in Europe. And I looked at it and thought, wow, I was impressed. You know, so yeah, those are some of the realities that we are in at the moment. Indian players play football like Spain plays cricket. I will leave this comment here. I don't think that is fair, Aditya. East Bengal are set to complete the signing of Spanish-born striker Yusuf as a Zari head of the ISL 2020-26 season. Okay. Why, sir? You have money, but the government, sir, them where it's going, sir. Yeah, Rahul. Doesn't work. Unless the clubs Until unless our clubs own their stadiums, this will happen. We can't even blame stadium authorities or SAI or local government for this. They need money from these events. Akash, do they? My question would be that if SAI has a budget to run and operate venues, right? Um, and you define the use of a venue. So if I'm doing, I don't know, a Honey Singh concert, or I'm doing a dirt bike event, political rally, or some whatever, blah, 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 does it fall under my remit? Does it fall under what I have built the stadium for? And if that is my question and I can't answer it with a yes, then I have a problem. But if you own the stadiums and given the circumstances, you know, if I was running a club and my owner was saying, listen, let's build a stadium, I first of all would think what's the cost of it and what is the use of the stadium? Because the problem of me owning and running a stadium is first of all is going to be the issue of land. There's that, to get the whole thing going is so difficult that nobody is actually willing to do it. That stadium plans have been there left, right, and center by many of the entities who play in the ISL. At some stage, everybody's given up, right? Money going to ministry and bureaucrats. Okay. What is your take on Tombai on China grassroots and youth development AFC finals? Tombai, he himself is involved in the strategy structure in China. Um, I don't know. I know Tom Bayer and his work in Japan with his own kids also. So I know that. I don't know what he's doing with China. So therefore, Kumar, again, I can't comment. But who will build stadiums? Raj. Again, building is not the problem. Building is who's going to invest it. And again, land seems to be the biggest problem. They're not a single world-class stadium, including cricket stadiums. I can't comment on if the cricket stadiums are world-class or not. I dreamt last fortnight that we can beat China. Okay, Rahul. Tom Bayer said it will take time to take fruition, and this China success in the 20 fund is the tip of the iceberg. Weren't we talking a few weeks ago that China football is a complete failure? Just asking. Maybe because the product isn't good and no one is ready to take the league's rights. No, Augusto, product good or not bad, that is the second thing. You are telling the broadcaster, okay, you broadcast, but you have to also produce the product. And then the broadcaster is telling you, oh, you know what? No, I don't want to do that. Why should I spend, you know, for the rights in the sense? But you're saying, okay, I'll give you rights for free, but you produce me the league. So why would I spend 10, 15, maybe 20 crores to produce a league? So therefore, for me, that is the basic problem of the tender in the way that the AIFF has sent out the tender. And secondly, there is a problem of in a country like India, what is the lookout in a broadcast partner? Because on one side we have the old classic sort of broadcast partner, which is television. The others are the OTTs, and the OTTs we've spoken about it so many times that um, who's going to be willing to pay 19 or 25 rupees or maybe whatever the season pass is to watch Indian football, right? Those are realities. So it's a shame that we don't have single football specific FIFA certified stadium. Yeah, reality. Franchise Indian clubs are the best thing that happened to Indian football. It just feels to a point that you cannot deal with the AIFF professionally. Yeah, but again, the clubs also are to blame for the situation. Huh? There's one in Shillong or something like that. No, Shillong is in planning. First in Meghalaya, first if again, let me see the stadium once it's done, and then we will look at the stadium, right? That is, yeah. Our Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, meaning the Chief Minister of Bengal, West Bengal, says Raj is going to build an international cricket stadium in Darjeeling district, Shillong, on a 26-acre tea garden where exists a container football stadium, which was once used for I League, now used for BSF. Visit there 6 months back during a trip. You can't sit there. The concrete has turned black. It tells us the condition. Yeah, Raj. How many chief ministers have announced cricket stadiums over the last few months, across India? So that's the reality, right? And 95% of Indian population sports means only cricket. Sad. Does it even mean, again, does Indian population care about sports? We get a more generic conversation, right? Do they care? Do they understand? And do they care? I don't know. So I was making roti and paneer sabji when Bangladesh beat India. It hurt. I was watching match while making roti. It makes so much frustrated and angry. Said, yeah, it happens. That's football, right? If you like it or not. Yeah, X9 I think was the right one, right? Yeah. Now, let's say destroyed after Daljit concert, same every stadium. Yeah, that's the problem. I'm really missing but JG City Urega ball. Come on, India. Let's football. It's been a while. Yeah, August it has been, and maybe it will never be played again. Marcus said the AIFF will create the schedule within 48 hours. Sajid, they're working on it. You know, um, but and you say it yourself. So are just creating match placeholders, or will include the venues, or to be decided. In some places, it will be to be decided. You know, so therefore, for me, it is a massive problem. It's a massive problem at the moment, and the reality. Yes, I still want to impress North Indian side. Let's have new cricket stadium. Yeah, that's the reality. Aesthetic is crime. Delhi stadium filled with Bimal. Okay, whatever that means. No, there is no stupid question, Lucifer. The question is, if we go back to this question as placeholders, the point of the AFF is, and I've tried to explain this. Watch my short video. Why the scheduling issues. Um, but I try and explain those, which, in my opinion, are very complex issues for everyone to look at and understand. In my opinion, the issue here is that because the grounds were not blocked, right? You're coming very, very late into this business. Um, so therefore, for me, the clubs are struggling, right? And some of the grounds are in such bad shape that they are not an option for the clubs, right? We are in a very bad situation on that front. So therefore, let's see what happens. It's a very difficult situation, and let's see if they can sort it out, because some of the things are just too complex at the moment. Right, 28 plus minutes, nearly 29 minutes. Haven't said it so far. Like, share, and subscribe. Arun Foot here on YouTube. 7 likes only so far. We again enter the phase of ups and downs, ups and downs. Today we stand at 3,714. And yeah, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel and watch the short videos. I know that we're generally having a situation where the numbers are dropping in Indian football in regard to views, but please do share it to other people. And thanks a lot for your support as always. Found today, listen to the Sweeper podcast when they covered ISL not happening. People don't want to believe, but ISL as top tier will always have more eyeballs. Yeah, Roshan, that's the reality. If we, and especially those who don't like the I League as ISL and do like the I League, right? Or say, the I League is this, the I League is that. The reality at the end of the day is that we are in a situation where if we want to talk about these things, that the ISL in the first 2-3 years has had a massive impact, got a massive inroad into the minds of a lot of people who care and bother about sports, right, and football. So therefore, from that standpoint, it got something, which wasn't there, right? And that is something when I would always say is on that front, yeah, everything else cannot, yeah, that's the reality. So what's the ticket cost of Bayern Munich match, either Bundesliga or UCL? Raj, cheapest tickets in the Bundesliga will be around 18 to 20 euros if you can get hold of them, because I think the waiting list at Bayern Munich is 1 year down the road at least. And Champions League is a little costlier. I don't know what the rates are for Champions League, but I think it's going to be about 25, 25 euros, 25, 27 euros, I think, is the cheapest tickets available. Odisha FC 11's women. Yeah, but again, that's the reality. X9. East Bengal released women foreigners. Okay. So are they releasing him for good for the season? Or are they going to re-sign them ahead of the second leg of the IWL? That will be interesting to see. Is it a cost, somewhat of a cost-cutting measure from the AIFF in some sort of form way? Is there a reason behind it? Would be interesting to figure that out, what it is. So yeah, that's the thing. Me myself didn't watch last three seasons of I League. Watched only some highlights of Inter Kashi, says Raj. I think a lot of people did that. I think the interest in the I League has, my interest has died out. Not last 2 years. I would have said last 2 years. I would have said, it died out. I was interested. Yes, I was following Inter Kashi, but then there were issues here, issues there, and a lot of chaos prevailing at the end of the day. And I said to myself, I'm not interested in all of that, and that's some of the realities, as we speak, and yeah, and therefore for me, it's not been the way, I would have said. I would have liked things, but um, yeah, it's the way it is. It is the way it is, and I can't change it, right? Um, I League has lost its majority viewers. It feels like it, no? That the I League has lost a lot of its viewers, and that's sad. It's very, very sad. It's very, very sad, and so therefore for me, it is the way it is, and to me, the I League had a certain level. It was always intense, especially the fight for the title, because normally the last match day would decide who would win the title and all that stuff, and all of that, around Interkashi, the things that happened. Um, you know, Gokulam Kerala winning it twice, Punjab FC then coming in, winning it, getting promoted. You know, so that's the thing. Watch interview with US women's national team coach Emma Hayes. She explained the difference between club and national team coach, like children and parents, club coach and grandparents, national coach from the times spending per year. That's an interesting point. Um, you know, that yes, you have a club. I mean, she used to coach Chelsea women's, where you have the team for what, about 8 9 months, 8 months, 8 months, 9 months, and then you have, let's say, what, a month, maybe 5 6 weeks in a national team, except in competition years. So therefore, for me, yeah, it makes sense the way that Emma Hayes is trying to explain it. Following Interkashi because of their project and Habas Dadu, and I think, Raj, there are a lot of people who have been following Interkashi exactly for that reason, that they are following it because of a project trying to build a club in Uttar Pradesh. People like Pritijit involved, and of course Habas, playing, sorry, not playing, coaching the team. Johnny Kauko being part of it. So yeah, it was great. Let's look at the broadcasting I League quality degrade. X9, yes. Um, think about it. I would jokingly say that 3 years ago, I was part of the team, and Shatadru and I and Liam, yeah, I think we were better than, don't wanna, but don't need to slag off people, but that's to me a reality, right? I League is probably done. Yeah, Augusto, people might say that, but the thing is, the question is, we need to look at what is going to be the future structure of Indian club football, you know, and yeah, that's the thing. I'd watched many matches last year's I League. I brought SSEN separation too. I liked it. Actually, looks more humble and intense than ISL. Just saying. Yeah, but where's the quality? And right, and sorry, again, shouldn't say that. Um, The quality of commentary was better also in the past. Um, Adequately good. I don't know. Sir, is it Interkashi Ona Bengali? One of them is, and the others are Marwaris. Um, so yeah, they Kolkata-based businessmen. Let's call it this way. Been to Kalyani for Interkashi matches. Apart from stadium, probably match was not so bad. Quality, forget it. Same here, Raj. I watched Interkashi versus Gokulam Kerala, which was um, about a year back, and Intakashi won 3-2 in a very fierce battle. Forgot the name of the Spanish coach of Gokulam Kerala who actually abused Habas's wife, and she was in the stands. And again, all the Spaniards got involved. This is really funny. Those who, and all the Bengalis asking, ki hoche, kano hoche? And I was like, guys, he just abused, I think Ruedas was his name, Rueda, abused Habas's wife, and Habas's wife was cutting up and all. Utter chaos, utter chaos. Okay, got it. Nothing to complain from my side. Okay. Privatization from our sport is the need of the hour. What do you mean by privatization? Sports is private, right? Top level professional sports in India is private, right? It is not government driven. So to me, um, you know, so therefore for me, where do you want privatization? G99, right? What about Shatadru? Is he out? Not heard about him for quite a while. Yeah, Shatadru hasn't done any commentary that I know of. Shatadru did some commentary for also some local stuff, but he owns or co-owns a number of football turfs in and around Kolkata, and that has been his main business. And of course, he's played a little bit of football himself, had serious knee injuries, and focused on that. So yeah, I think Shatadru hasn't done anything for, I would think about over 2 years. I remember when there were no promotion for I League, I felt it had more followers and interest. And when the promotion got reduced, it got down, which is a weird thing. Roshan, I agree. I remember, again, I did the second bubble season, which had no promotion, and Gokulam won it, beating Mohammedan Sporting in Kolkata. And, you know, so yeah, Wasim Razik, the Berlin-born Sri Lanka international, was actually part of that Gokulam Kerala team. And I remember I am Vijay and Jopal Ancheri and others turned up for that game. So that's my yeah. And after that, yeah, actually I agree. After that, if I look at the season that Punjab FC won it, or Round Glass Punjab in the I League, Punjab FC, and, so therefore for me, and Interkashi last season, the interest has gone down. Yes, I think, sir, I agree with your opinion. Not have ISO this year would have been better. 60 get Reds reset. Yeah, at the moment it's a mess. It's a moment is a mess. Fabrizio Romano just confirmed Minerva will take part in makeup. Fabrizio Romano confirmed that yesterday, Zoravar. I mean, I saw someone send it to me yesterday. I didn't watch it, but again, you can buy that, right? If I want to do, hey, all go and watch Arun Foot. I don't know how much it costs. You can, there are platforms where you can buy these sort of short clips. And Fabrizio Romano does, here we go, right? So even I could do that. Your opinion, another good name. Good name, Zoravar. As I said, you can buy it. It's a bot thing, right? This was saying that those people who are actually potentially giving Minerva money, they're using it for these PR stunts, right? Think about it. Yeah. Anyway, that if Kashi can really build their own stadium, it will be a milestone, unique project. Akash, it already is a unique project because people from Kolkata have decided to try and build football culture uh, um, in Uttar Pradesh, in Kashi. And again, why are they forced to build the stadium themselves? Because the government didn't again, we spoke earlier about the government and stadiums and all that stuff, right? So this is part of the problem because Interkashi was promised a stadium. Interkashi tried their luck at Ekana in Lucknow. It didn't work out, and they're still stuck in Kolani. Now they're trying to build their own thing, no? Right? So that's the problem. Yeah, let's see. Whenever we play against Barcelona, is it? Why would FC Barcelona in the middle of the season play in the MIC Cup with their first team? Would be my first question, right? Simple question, right? Um, so therefore, um, right, and you have to then see what team is what. So therefore, yeah, right. In Girona, outside of Barcelona, and again, you have to pay for it. Right? It says 600. I mean, if you go on a website, it says what it is, and then you see the age groups, and then it's saying how many players. 10+1. What does 10+1 mean? Right. Um, right. So therefore, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see um, what it is, and yeah, it's the way it is, right? It's a PR thing. Whenever we go Kashi after stadium is built, do that. I'd like to see Namdhari and Sri in ISL next to 3 years. Yeah, let's see. Akash, who's going to get into the ISL or not, will be very, very interesting to see in the coming years. So maybe Intercash also get land from college which does not able to pay 10 lakh less able to government. Maybe that's why they give land to Interkashi. I don't know this electricity bill issue of the university. I think there are conflicts between Bengalis and Kashi. Akash, actually not. Fazil Romano doing these PR things, is it for money, right? Yes. I mean, why should you announce that? Else, Fabrizio got Chris doing this footballers like me. Yeah, of course. Roshan, as I said, you can buy stars around the world. There are, I forgot the name of the platform where you can actually buy your spot in those competitions, and therefore, yeah, it's the way it is, and um, yeah, yeah, so therefore, if you see the schedule, you're supposed to arrive on the 31st. You have a opening ceremony. You've got matches, one one per day, and then you're supposed to leave on a week later. Um, I'm not sure if this is. I'm trying to figure out who played in it. You know, it's yeah. Let's see what it is. But again, um it's going to be interesting. East Bengal is going to find this transfer market. Are they? What have they done that they are on fire or no? Does Ekana Football Stadium got renovated before Kolkata Derby last time with 20 days? No. It wasn't in the best of shape when the two teams came, and it was the reserve teams who played. What feels Mick is funding away for PR because Bajaj built his cult fanboys, huge viewership and money. Raj, it is about, you know, um, so therefore, to me, mm, yeah, leave it. We're wasting our time on that. Bangladesh is given ultimatum to either take part in the upcoming World Cup, be replaced with Scotland, Bangladesh, country reports are planning to go to International Criminal Court. Yeah, it's cricket. It's rubber. Don't bother about it. Fabrizio Romano even confirms source. It is Raj. I know that. Why would Fabrizio Romano, who's supposed to be the transfer guru, which he no longer is because there are 10, 20, 50 other people around the world who do that, right? Um. So therefore, what's the use? In the depressing Indian club footy, Kashi is one bright hope. Yeah, it is Akash. It is a bright hope, and I wish them all the best that they succeed in the interest of Indian football, right? And that is the thing that I feel. Nah, it wouldn't. So now we continue to Minerva for Mikap. No, I don't. Bhaskar. It has no value. It is a 4-day tournament, and I don't even know which division, who you're playing, what you're playing. Are you playing again? Uh, my question around that time would be: aren't teams playing league games around that time? Why would you play that again? Just a question, right? So, guys, either you get fooled by these things and are happy, and again, Indian football doesn't gain anything or move up anywhere. But these are realities. And either you believe me or you say, oh, you know what, these guys are doing this, that, everything great, brilliant, lovely. Yeah, take it. I don't have a problem with it. Right? If you want to believe it, then it's on you. You know. So only Bajaj could invest that match in actual grassroots. Listen, play, you can come to Europe, play proper 11-a-side friendly matches, right? Do other things. So, you know, so for me, um, all of these guys who talk, oh, you know what, grassroots, this, that, youth football, this, that, do it properly. And we need to start with our coaching, which is, in my opinion, our biggest problem. If we don't sort it, nothing will happen. Will relegation really happen this season? 3-4 clubs with all Indian scored tough competition for relegation. Akash, the clubs have asked the AIFF to clarify on that, and they still haven't. You know, you know. So therefore, for me, I don't know. And again, where do you get that 3-4 clubs are having a complete Indian squad? As far as I know, at the moment, 100%. You know, Mohammedan Sporting is confirmed. Chennai is a rumor, but they've got still 2 foreigners on their books. Goa's playing with 1 at the moment. Paul Moreno is staying, it seems like. Mumbai City seems to have 2 on their books, and the rest will have to see what they're doing, not doing. Because all of it is unconfirmed. I support Mumbai City, Interkashi, and so-called legacy clubs, East Bengal, Mohun East, Began, and Mohun Began fans be happy, don't give head. Raj, but if you support, how can you support both East Bengal and Mohun Began? Or the 2 Begans, or Beguns, whatever you want to call them, or the Brinjals, right? Paying Fabrizio Romano from Mr. Give me 120 crores. Give me 150 crores. Roshan, that's the point. Give me 150 crores. And I'll produce you 10 Messis. Someone who's spent already more than, I don't know how many crores. And forget Messi. Get it to the Asian. I would be happy if someone on Asian level cropped up. I would be fine. Right? This is the problem with our sort of lack of player development in Indian football that we have at the moment. Here, after a long time, seeing the current Indian football system is getting more and more terrible every day, from grassroots to 3-month joke league. Hi, Ritik. Yeah, you know. So for me, it is, you know, the problem of the AIFF, and the AIFF had not having done its homework. That's why we're there. I also checked about Mid Cup. It's just 6-day tournament, isn't high level tournament, and you can describe about this tournament. Can you describe? Bhaskar, it's not even 6 days. If you look at the schedule, the first day you're arriving, right? You're arriving on the 31st, right? Wednesday you're playing. It's opening ceremony, and then you're playing. Then you're playing on the 2nd. You're playing on the 3rd, 4th. Theoretically, there are finals on the so there are 5 days of playing, and you're supposed to depart on the afternoon of the. So it means, I don't even know who's playing, how is playing, why you're playing, right? So therefore, yeah, right. So therefore, for me, it has no value. From what I remember, a couple of schools used to take 2 lakh per person to send Indian teams to tourneys like Ghana Cup, Gothia Cup, Barcelona Summer Camp, etc. Yeah, I think. Yeah, there used to be those. I've even had the German Football Academy coming with teams, over here to Germany, to Remscheid for the Pfingst turniers, and which are made possible. So therefore, yeah, you've had also in the past Gothia Cup the Kolkata Mayors 11. The IFA used to send a youth team in the 80s and 90s, if I remember right. So these things have happened. These things have happened. Has it brought us any success? That is where I have my doubts, right? Me to Bajaj in his style. If you give me that money that you are wasting for Mick Cup, I'll make 10 Messis in grassroots. Wow, Raj, that is a tough message in the language of this gentleman. But again, yeah, produce me one good Indian footballer, I would be happy enough. You know, sir, I support both Begun Bhajas. Raj, then you're a rare breed, I would say, if you support both Begun Bhajas. And this has become a national meme. Huh? The sports minister not able to pronounce Mohun Bagan and East Bengal. Never expected. But again, these are times of memes. Never expected it. Yeah. And rather than this meme, I would have liked, it's now 2 weeks since it was sort of sorted. Yes, league is happening. And yeah, that should be the question asked to the sports minister. I would have liked to have seen that question asked to the sports minister. Sir, you said Doordarshan Sports. You said free stadiums available. What's happened to both of them? That's the question I would have liked to have seen. But forget Messi. First, let us produce a Yan Danda level footballer. Zoraber, forget Yan Danda. Produce me a Sunil. Produce me a Baichung. Get me someone with the technical abilities of an Im Vijan. Right? Get me that. Or even current footballers. Can you produce me someone with at least the potential of a Chanke? Right? The fighting spirit of a Sandesh Jingan. Right? That's the problem. Can we produce that level of footballer in India? And that is, at the moment is sadly, I say this sadly again and again and again and again, is a big no. And that is the shocking part of things. And therefore, for me, that is, yeah, we need to develop and evolve. And that is difficult to impossible, but we need to work on it, right? And before I get to a Jan Danda level or a Dylan Markandi level or a Danny Bath level, Sean Hundal level. Yeah, it's difficult. I'm built different, says Raj. Yeah, I realize that. I mean, again, someone, um, a Bengali supporting Mumbai City, always welcome, in my opinion. But um, yeah, it is something that is always there. No, Toral is left, no? Toral is one of those guys who's joined the clubs in Indonesia. Toral has gone like Adrian Luna to Persik Kediri. So yeah, that's the thing. Even a Sumit Pasi level we can't produce. Oh, Augusto, that's hard. But it's true, right? At Inter Kashi, they've loved the player, right? Um, if you see Habas loved him, Steven loved him. So, the old warhorse, so to say. Right. And still captain, right? Last season, at least he was. I don't know if he's going to be captain this year, but he last season was captain of Inter Kashi, right? So that's a player who's been very heavily criticized by football fans, left, right, and center, right? So therefore, for me, that's that's the thing that is there. Sorry. Um, you know, I mean, when we're talking about Suman Pasi as Robert again, but the guy gave his heart. Yeah? I heard from a Bayern fan that Bayern is one of the, if not the most probably managed and well-run club, never in debt, great financial strength and discipline. Yeah, you know. Um, Manvir, I will always say yes. I mean, I have had the pleasure of working for Bayern Munich over the years. Enjoyed always my time doing stuff for the club. I've had the pleasure of representing Bayern Munich. You know, so therefore, for me, it is, yeah, it's a very special feeling regarding club. Successful footballing nations have many things in common, including leagues for schools, university level, where competition is so high and very competitive. Even Japan select university players. No, Ritik. Sorry, completely wrong. You're telling us a model about Japan, about Korea, and America. In Europe, s- university football is, yeah, um, yeah, it doesn't exist in Europe in that way. School football doesn't exist in that way because ours is built on clubs. So there is, uh, it is not that way, built that way as you're trying to explain it is. So how can our young boys get selected in European top division? Bhaskar, not at all. Because you have to be 18 plus and you have to sign a professional contract. So, and you're not allowed to play in academies. All who have gone abroad are pay to play model players, right? So your best goalkeeper in the last decade after Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, Shubhrata Pal. Raj, Shubhrata doesn't work because Shubhrata hasn't played for I don't know how many years. So last decade would most probably be Amrinder Singh. And then most probably Arunava Bhattacharya, if you want me, my top three of the last decade. Sumit Pasi's only area is probably that header against Pakistan in SAF Championships. However, he's had many, highlights. If you think about it, that this guy has been so heavily criticized over the years. He's played for the national team. Stephen Constantine always trusted him. And now, even in his older age, went to uh, um, Inter Kashi. They've trusted him. Um, so that's it. So why I said both Beguns because I get hate from both fan bases anyway. So okay. Listen, take it as a badge of honor when you get hate from, whenever anyone puts hates on you in football, then you're supporting something which is valid, right? Whenever I tell my very good friends who talk, oh, Mumbai City only has those six fans and blah blah. And you know what I jokingly tell these people? I said, yeah, one Mumbai City fan is equal to lakhs of fans of these clubs, right? So take it. I take the fun and turn it around, right? Even I love Bayern Munich. What a club and atmosphere. Their form is best in the world. Musiala back to, yeah, Manuel. Let's hope things look good. I could have been tonight in Munich to watch the Champions League game against Saint Gilloise. Can't be there, but let's see and hope for the best. So we're cooked for this decade. No, Bhaskar, this is not something which has changed, right? Youth players going to Europe, and again, our problem is tell me the quality in youth players. Tell me even under 17 team was qualified for the Asian Cup. Tell me a player who can go to a youth academy in Europe. None. We've had those opportunities in the past, but at the moment we don't have the quality. That is a sad part and reality of Indian football at this moment in time. Here in India, as university level coach, it is all doing just to fulfill basic requirements and knockout format once a year, 1 week tournament, whatever. Ritik, again, the different countries, different formats. Is the university level the most important? In my opinion, no. If your club structure is right. But is our club structure right? No. In most of India, the club structure is not right. And universities, school level tournaments, for example, I've played myself as a younger person when I used to live in Kolkata, school level tournaments in football. And they were actually quite decent in the late 80s, early 90s. So again, it depends on where you are in the country. Still remember the match Mumbai scored a goal by Changte getting a red card. Yeah. Is the AIFF misusing their funds for personal life enjoyment, which civilians are paying as tax to the government? Would they have been bankrupt if not government backed? Manvir, before I come to the personal life and enjoyment, we civilians tax to government. Where is tax to government money being used by the AIFF? Where do you get this from? The government, you know, uh, 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 you know, to me, are they misusing the funds? Yes. For personal life enjoyment, listen, there is not enough money to do that. This is, again, get out of this daydream, oh, you know what, they're getting rich because of the AFF money. No, they're not. There is not enough money to do that in the AFF at the moment, right? The point at the end of the day is that if you want to talk what Indian football needs to do, um, there needs to be a different kind of a conversation. So you are not paying for the AFF and its money. It's coming from FIFA, from AFC, and from normally from commercial partners. I really want to see Stephen for the national team. We might have found some sort of combination with these players. Yeah, I think I would as well. But again, but we got P. Karambol. Yeah, we did get. I agree with you, Arunava. This big fan base thing has less value than smaller but loyal fan bases who stay loyal through thick and thin. Exactly, Roshan. Sometimes it's, yeah, sometimes, you know, a smaller but more loyal fan base is better than this so-called fan base which exists in the air. Where is it? Right? I've been told lakhs, crores, and you again, if you in a global context, a football club which calls itself big needs to fill a big stadium every time they play wherever they play. If you can't do that, you are on a global scale, not a big club. Okay, but Europe have a strong club system. In Asia, for example, Korea and Japan have strong university and school system, but India didn't follow either, both of them properly. Ritik, before again, do you think that we can via schools and colleges build a strong sporting system? I would rather go the club route, which is difficult as well. It's not the best, but that's the best way to do it. Right? When you left. Bhaskar, I'm born in Germany. I spent only a few years in between in India. Still remember when Mumbai City won Shield and returned to Mumbai at the airport, there were almost 150 people present there. When I shared that clip, the Legacy Club fans said the total people came there more people at our bus. Yeah, Raj, but again, it is not the people who turn up for those things, right? I mean, I remember the night Nicholas and Elka arrived in Mumbai, and let me not lie, what 200 people were at the Mumbai airport, right? At that new terminal 2 at the time. Um, which was big, you know. And to me, those are things where I say, you know, uh, small but fine, and I'll take that. But why do we need to pay these players more, especially 40 like bonus, etc., when these players barely play their heart out? They don't have a fighting spirit for India as a responsibility. Who tells you that? What 42 lakh bonus? Where does the 42 lakh bonus come from, Manvir? And how do you know they're not playing their hearts out? Again, yeah. Yeah, the same old optimistic, pessimistic tone, and nothing going forward. Simon, this is the problem. Sadly, I would like to speak differently, but I rather, rather would talk about other things and more positive on Indian football. But the realities. I cannot change the realities. I would love to change the realities. Say, things are like this today. They're not, because I explained it to someone last night who called me up, and I said, listen, when I talk, um, from knowledge, from understanding. I am not blindly telling you X, Y, Z. That's the problem. A lot of people are saying, this and everything. No, it doesn't work that way, sadly. How far is Bombay from yours? It's about what? 600 kilometers, about 6 hours, six and a half hours away. These people only watch Derby, that's it. Otherwise, they don't care. Exactly, Raj. And they don't care. And if they win something, then they suddenly turn up. Homes, yeah, as I said, 5, 6 hours. Serop everything goes well in the future for the Blue Tigers. Nama, I think not only you, but all of us would wish, uh, you know. So therefore, for me, um, the wish of that we do better is there. Poor Chennai FC fans optimistic that the social when active announced them playing at the no stadium owner for rules entirely. We don't respect our own institutions. Simon, welcome to Indian football or to India, and as you say, the government's support. I honestly didn't support Mumbai City during the initial days, but supported ATK. Raj, all good. Sir accepted Steamach was Also, bad coach. We scored one goal in Asian Cup. Maybe even was we can't score one. X9, uh, yeah, but it's not just about Asian Cup. It's about everything that he did in the last 3 years. If someday, by God's grace, India plays, you know whom we're going to support. Mashkar, I always say my heart will support India, my head will support Germany. So I do support both. Indian football is finished. That's the harsh reality. I already tell people there's no future for Indian football. And that I don't agree. You know, I totally don't agree to that. Otherwise, if it was finished, I wouldn't be sitting with you guys and talking to you. Right. Um, so therefore, that is what I always say. Don't say anything about Chennai. See, Karthik, seems to be a problem with the ground. Let's see if they can sort out the Nehru Stadium. What about Indian women friendly? They were, as I have not heard anything. Last few days there was always an info about the game, but today, again, they changed it from FC Zurich to a local club over there, and I haven't seen anything. Antalya Accra Sport Kulübü. Again, have I? Let me see. As Marcus maybe posted something or Ashish. I've not heard anything. No, Marcus has not put out anything, and has Ashish put out anything? I've not. Uh, 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 no, nothing as such. Yeah, they've released a video. There is no future with Indian football in men's. I see some good future in women's. Let's see. Totally understandable, sir. We just merely hope as fans and always live with the hunger of contributing to more. Sad. Yeah, yeah, that's the point. Simon, very well said. The amount of admiration and respect I have for Sunil Chetri, I can't describe in words. What a legend, what a player, what a person. When he had to wear a Messi jersey to meet him, I felt so bad. Yeah, reality of India. He tried to fool Indian fans by showing patriotism. Is he really care? Then why he goes to FIFA for money? Yeah. Agree, working in India as a coach for one last year at the age of 20, I feel club and football culture can only revive our talent pool with university or school level football as a stepping stone. Let's see, Ritik. Again, then the school tournaments need to be good enough for that. Because jersey you're gonna wear, no tricky answer. Bhaskar, most probably I wouldn't. Again, if India is playing Germany, I don't even know. I might be working for one of the two teams. Let's see. So otherwise neutral. So believe in the dressing room conspiracy theories? No. Because I've been to that dressing room. Therefore, I don't believe in those conspiracies. Again, are there influences here and there? Yes, always there are influences. Any team, there will be influences here or there. Yeah, watch movies, especially from India. Rather, no, I don't watch movies. I rarely actually watch movies these days, right? If I watch something of series which I like. Takashi signing a foreign goalkeeper first since Doro and Soro back in the days for Delhi Dynamos Odisha FC. Yeah, Delhi man. E Marcus Deba, the guy, this is the same team, man. Yeah, interesting. I know we all watch European football, we all like them, Bayern, Madrid, etc. But at the end of the day, we all are Indians. We have our national team. All have to support it. It's a home upright. 100, I agree. Uh, um, you know, so supporting Team India, yeah, is should be part and parcel of all of us, right? But don't forget it was JSW who made possible. Otherwise, when you wouldn't be there, forget that jersey part. Who says that? Raj, who tells you that? You saw in Delhi, Baichung was there, Aditi Chauhan I saw. I've seen others as well. So I don't know if I don't know if someone else would not have invited Sunil, right? Where Neymar, Messi, remember Mbappe tensions real at PSG dressing rooms. Manvir, I wasn't there. You will have read a lot, heard a lot. A lot of people say stuff that only Neymar, Mbappe, but Messi as well. I don't know. Only if Goenka hadn't mocked the legacy clubs, probably ATK would have been present today. Why? Why is that your opinion, Zorawar? Good point in the sense of, again, it was very, very clear from the onset that once East Bengal and Mohun Bagan would be allowed into the Indian Super League, that either A or either B, meaning either East Bengal or Mohun Bagan, would become linked to Goenka. He was to East Bengal, Mithura turned it down, and then he went to, let's see. Bodo recruitment for most teams, big up Patrick Berg, Peter Hauge, and Nikita Heikin. Yeah, Bodo Glim. Yeah, crazy. Crazy to think Man City losing to the Norwegians. I think nobody would have thought that that could happen, but that's where we are, right? That's where we are today, and yeah, crazy to think. But City have lost to Bodo Glimt. Crazy to think. Anyway, right, 1 hour, 12 minutes, 20 of you watching. Like, share, and subscribe, please, to the channel if you haven't. 16 likes so far. I think we can do better. And yeah, keep watching, keep supporting the channel. We stand at 3,715. Again, one of those phases where the numbers are going up and down, up and down, up and down. And watch the short videos. Again, as I've said in the last few days, there seems to be a little bit of lack of interest, but I'm trying to do stuff, trying to keep doing things. Again, motivating myself. Um, so yeah, thanks as always for the support. And as I've said, I'll do a little bit more of international football as well here and there, and that's of course already happening as well. What are your top four best UCL teams, the favorites to win it? Mine, PSG, Bayern, Arsenal, Man City. Oh, Manveer, do I have a top four? Arsenal, Bayern for sure, and then it's an open field. The usual suspect. You're mentioning PSG. Man City will be there. Real Madrid with all its problems. Barca with its issues will be there. You know. But again, if you ask me, Bayern, Arsenal look like the top favorites. ATK Mohun Bagan was not supported by fans. Goenka, go back, where the slogans. Now they have made him dad. Raj, again, and that speaks about the, we're speaking about the culture. So for me, you know, so therefore for us, that's the thing. So yeah, let's wait and see. So where from Kolkata are you actually from, sir? No, Rahul, I am again born and brought up here in Germany, but our ancestral house is in the southern part of the city in Goria. Sir, who do you think will win the AFF Suzuki Cup this year? If I'm looking at the AFF Suzuki Cup, who do I think will win it? Good question. Mm, 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 mm. If I'm looking at this year, I mean, it's going to be the Hyundai Motor Cup this year. That's an interesting one. I would think Vietnam won the last one, right? Who do I think will win it? Boah. Vietnam, not Vietnam. I would think Indonesia might be with all they're doing. Mine will be Kairat Almaty. Looks difficult that they will survive. Um, mm, so yeah, I know it's a funny one, but to me, again, the usual suspects are the ones that we always talk in the Champions League, and that's the thing, right? That those are the ones that you will talk about. Again, if I look at the current table, again, not all teams have played their matches. Arsenal 7 wins out of 7, so they're through. Real Madrid have 15 points. Bayern have 15. If Bayern win today, against Saint-Gilloise. Then Bayern is also through. Interestingly, Tottenham, 14 points in the Champions League, nearly as many as in the Premier League. Huh? Paris Saint-Germain with the loss. Interesting. On 13. Sporting Lisbon, very, very strong. City losing, Atalanta in there. And then you have an Atlanta with a match less. Then you've got Inter, Atletico, Liverpool, Borussia Dortmund falling behind after the loss to Tottenham. Newcastle, Chelsea, Barca, Marseille, Juventus, Galatasaray. Yeah, there's a lot. Bayer Leverkusen losing, big loss. So there's a lot. And yeah, so, and Kairat with 1 point at the bottom. Along with Villarreal, that's the surprise. I didn't expect Villarreal to do that badly, right? So that's the situation in Champions League. क्या आपको हिंदी आता है? Manvir, yes, I can speak Hindi. Um, yeah, is it good enough? No, I don't think so. Rahul, I don't think my Hindi is better than yours, but मैं हिंदी बोल सकती हूँ. But so often do you visit City of Jordan? I depends on my work visits. No? When I have work visits to India, then I combine it, try to be in Kolkata as well. Last year I visited Kolkata twice. Bischoff, is he the future Goretzka successor at Bayern? Yes, Simon, he already is. I think if you look at the pecking order, um, Jozo Kimmich 1, Alex Pavlovich 2, Tom Bischoff 3, and Leon Goretzka 4. That seems to be the pecking order, and it will be interesting to see that I think if I look at it, that Goretzka's time might be up in the summer and might leave Bayern Munich in the summer. What's your main profession? Might be a football. Or I can widen out sports governance, sports management, consulting is my main profession. So this is part of the fun of it. Sir, I have dreams of settling in Germany future. Wish me luck, sir. But sir, how's economic condition there? Yeah, all the best. Again, it is as complicated and complex as I think in other parts of the world. But again, I think we are still, despite all the things that are happening or have happened, I think it's still okay here in Germany compared to other parts of the world, I would say. Leonard Karl, Real decision was so unwanted, unnecessary. No, Manvir. It's a 17-year-old boy. You know, he was at those traditional Bayern Munich fan club meetings. And he gave an honest answer. So if he says, as a 17-year-old who had trials at Real Madrid in a young age, that and if he thinks, right, if you ask him what is your dream club, and he says Real Madrid, I don't understand. I do understand the uproar on one side, but that is social media for you these days. For me, the boy was just being honest. So I give him credit for that, to being honest, saying, hey, listen, if you would ask me, my favorite club, Real Madrid. I'm sure you see many, many Indians around you, sir. No. I'm in Germany. I'm not in the UK or in America. So I don't see that many Indians around it. So that's the reality. What has to happen that you become AIFF president? Oh, Roshan, I don't see myself ever becoming president of the All India Football Federation. Thank you that you think that I should become, danke, that you think that I can or should become AIFF president. But I don't see myself being in that sort of category because it needs someone with the political and business connects to be able to influence things. And I don't see me being in that category. If the AFF need help, if they need advice, as I've done in the past, I'm willing always to help, but I don't see myself as a potential president of the All India Football Federation. That's at least not on my bingo card. Let's put it this way. That's the multi-billion dollar question for the day. Yeah, Simon, it is, but I don't see myself in that position. Again, if the AFF ever wanted me and needed me, as I said, I've helped in the past in whatever capacity it's capable to me. but yeah, it's for others to decide. You live in Munich? No, I don't. I don't live in Munich. I live in the west, close to Cologne, Düsseldorf, Dortmund, in the west of Germany. So, visit Indian sports brands and their main problems. Sports brands, um, inward-looking outlook. You know, uh, so um, so to me, and the market is very difficult. The Indian internal market is difficult, and none of them actually, in any big way, have ventured abroad, I would say. So bits of interview. Didn't know you were planning for the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Thinker, I had a lot of ideas. Again, if you're a teenager, you have a lot of dreams. Again, as I say, yeah, I'm trying to work my way up in chemistry and be a scientist on one side, or a researcher getting into space. Via the European Space Agency. Yeah, I wanted to be a pilot at a younger age. I knew at a young age I was not good enough to be a professional footballer. So that is what our conversation was on Sportfolio Productions, and I really enjoyed that interview with Johnson. Again, as you say, I said a lot of things which I've never spoken about, and yeah, he asked some very good, very valid questions, and I tried to be as honest and as forward thinking on those things as I could, and yeah, I tried to answer him the questions in the best possible way. Right, that's what I can do as an interview partner at that time, but to me, yeah, I've been very lucky to have been able to do what I've been able to do over the last 20 plus years in football, right? So you have para playgrounds. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have mm, local, freely accessible playgrounds in Germany, right? Even um, when football grounds are not being used by the local clubs, again, the smallest amateurs, grassroots clubs, they are accessible to you and me to theoretically play on them. Yes, that is possible. That is very much possible. Right, 1 hour 23 minutes. Once more, a reminder: like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. 19 likes so far, guys. Um, yeah, uh, and 3,715, and yeah, thanks a lot. And as I say, like, share, um, hype my short videos. Did something today on the ISL scheduling. Yesterday did something on the foreigners exodus, about the African Cup of Nations final, on the ISL, multiple things on Amalia Valverde joining the national team, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. Again, in my sort of Arun Foot take on things. Do watch it. And yeah, but that's the thing. But the levels doesn't have to be, Rahul. Some of them are very basic. The grounds don't have to be anything special, right? You just need to, now all grounds are artificial turf. That has also been there been a process to make. We had clay grounds, right? So therefore, those were turned into artificial turf grounds into over the last 15, 16 years. And now we have those grounds, and if you want to go and play again, now it's bad because those don't have floodlights. But in the daytime, if the teams and the clubs are not using and training them, they're free to use. So especially in the afternoons, people use it. So I'm curious, do you have the regular Indian diet or not? No, I don't. I don't have a proper Indian diet. I have a diet whatever I like. It can be Indian, German, Italian, Spanish, Chinese, whatever I like. Right. Hey Blue, welcome back. Hope you're doing fine. And yeah, and as an update to Blue and everybody else, um, the AIFF is working on the scheduling of the ISL. Supposedly, it's coming out by tomorrow. But with a lot of question marks, if clubs can fulfill whatever is needed to have the announcements in regard to their home venues. I think there's a big, 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 big question mark at the moment on multiple clubs, that because they're struggling with home venues. Um, you know, um, so let's see what can be done. Also, sir, try to upload short and funny clips from the long videos. It will help in reach because YouTube actually promotes for a big audience. Think I know. Uh, to me, there are a lot of ideas. You've given me a lot of people are giving me a lot of ideas, and I say, guys, I like to have these long conversations, which like we're having today. Um, I try and do my sort of short video of the day, 4 to 6, 7, sometimes 8 minutes to explain something. Now, shorts, someone would have to do edits and all that stuff. I can't do that. And again, I do this for a fun, for a free time. I'm fine. Um, yeah, I don't have the manpower besides all the work that I have to do to do that as well. So therefore, yeah, I know. Again, if I was doing this full time, I could do a lot of things. Or if I had a team behind me, I could do a lot of things. Again, I'm trying to again help me to grow, and maybe one day I can say, you know what, I'm actually earning money out of this, and then I can get people on board to help me with the same. But at the moment, again, I try and do whatever I can for myself. And yeah, Seni, OCI news, am I just dreaming? Rahul, nothing. OCI sometimes the AIFF will say something, sometimes the government will say something, but there's no actual work happening on that matter. The point is that the government really needs to go and say, listen, guys, we want to change something. Uh, uh, you know, so that's the thing. So we've seen that Saudi player named Garib is just flash. Yeah, yeah. If you mean that player at Al Nassr, then yes, I've heard about him and I've seen him play. I was thinking, how many times will they change the schedule from tomorrow? Oh, Blue, then do me a favor. Keep track of it. You know. Um so therefore for me, um yeah. Blue, my task to you is from whenever the final schedule is announced, your official task will be to count how many changes in the schedule will happen, be it just venue or be it date or be it date and venue. So we will have this conversation once the ISL over, right? Was reading jokes after bank theft in Gelsenkirchen. All of a sudden, Schalke 04 has money to get Dzeko. Roshan, I've seen one as well. Seen a good one, which I've shared with my Schalke friends, and some of them loved it, some of them didn't like it at all, because it's in Gelsenkirchen a huge scandal in regard to the broken in lockers, and yeah, that's Edin Dzeko, 39, maybe helping Schalke to get promoted to the Bundesliga. What a story would it be, right? But sir, what specific other than the system changes in countries like Jordan, etc.? Rahul, did they change the system? Did they actually change anything in the system? Did did it did they do something special on grassroots? Did the players try to improve, right? Move to other countries in the Middle East. Some have now moved to Europe. That's the way it happens, right? It is some part is on the system and some is on coaching. I guess they've worked on coaching, and um and some of it is on the players, right? Damn, I'll be confused. Blue, keep track. Original and then make, okay, one change, two change, three change. It could be three changes to the same match, right? So therefore, I wouldn't like, you know, uh, tough ask. Best goalkeeper in world at present, in your opinion? Boah, who's the best goalkeeper? Do I have a best goalkeeper? I don't see anyone in the Premier League. I don't see anyone in La Liga. Don't even see anyone in the Bundesliga. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Um, Best goalkeeper. I wouldn't be able to tell. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell you, right? Who's the best goalkeeper at the moment in the world? No, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Very honestly. Sir, just asking, are BMWs cheaper there? Rahul, BMWs, Audis, and Mercedes cars in this part of the world are, yeah, as you would say, cheaper. it's very normal for you to drive an Audi, a BMW, or a Mercedes here in Germany. So it's not something which is out of the box, so to say. Vishal Keth, yeah, not even the best in India. So Rahul, nice one, but none of our keepers, sadly. But I wouldn't be able to tell you who's the best goalkeeper in the world. Who is the best goalkeeper? I'm just thinking. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Noah Atobolu, Roshan, he's a talent, but Noah Atobolu nowhere near to be a top goalkeeper. As a Mumbai City fan, I'm not so excited about ISL. Happy for Interkashi. People hope they compete against Bengal teams. I think title is between Bengal teams and Interkashi. Arman, let's wait and see. Um, you know, to me, um, I'm not sure what this season will could spring surprises. It is, for example, for East Bengal, the best possible chance to win the league, but it depends on the two strikers that they're going to sign. East Bengal could completely mess up by signing two strikers and they don't fire, right? Mohun Bagan under Sergio Lobera, interesting to see. Does it work or boom, does it explode? I'm not sure if that will work. Interkashi, yes, signing foreigners, but are they really ISL level? Right? I was looking at them and some of them, and then it's like, I'm not really convinced. You know, so to me, if I look at it, um, okay, let me go through the Interkashi ones. Um, Alfred Planas signed de facto for Gokulam and now is moving from I League to ISL, right? And he was playing in Secunda for Sestao. So, it's lower level Spanish. The second one is Pablo Rodriguez, right? Pablo um, is coming in from Lech Poznan. That is a good CV, right? Right. And he's got 12 matches, um, but only 2 goals. So he's coming from the top tier. So that's a good profile. Um, Sergio Lamas, uh, also Gokulam, and then went to Gravina, right? Um, so last season, not bad. David Humanes was there, and then Luis Trares. So it isn't. The problem is at the moment is that because we've not had um, top level foreigners. Very interesting to see. And he was at Getafe B, but without a top level club for the whole season. But he's a Barca youth product, right? So yeah, it's very interesting to see. Interesting to see if it clicks or doesn't click. That would be yeah, my question about Interkashi. What about Bruno? No, Raul. It's done well now in African Cup of Nations, but it's not best call. But. By the way, as you talk about goalkeepers, remember last season how bad our goalkeepers were? Yeah, and it's a general trend. Again, it's my point is, if I want to talk about goalkeepers and quality, who am I talking about, right? Who am I? Who is my sort of standout keeper who I say, this is the one that I want to speak about. I at least don't figure out one. Best striker in the world. Oh, that was to discussion between Erling Haaland and Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland. One of those two, I would say. Right? I would like to have Nick Woltemade in the discussion, but I don't think he qualifies for that. But if you ask me about strikers, then I would surely say, yeah, then I would surely say that um, it's a bit Mbappe and Haaland. One of those two, I think, are by far the best strikers at the moment in the world of football. I don't know what the others think, but that would be my sort of thought if you talk about strikers or not, right? I don't know. right? And if we talk about Indian strikers, I don't even have one for you. I wouldn't be able to tell you the best Indian striker at the moment, right? That's the brutal reality of Indian football at the moment, you know. So, so therefore, for me, one second, let me ah, just get up once. That's the challenge I see in our sort of system at the moment. Is like, yeah, we don't seem to have a quality striker in Indian football at the moment. If you look at Mumbai City team, we still haven't replaced Apoya, sold Mehta, plus we have signed Vijay Chetri, Amanpreet, and Alva. I'm worried we would end up relegating Kratke's terrible coach. Aman, uh, reality is you are talking about a team 2 years ago, which was not even 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, which was one of the best teams in the league, right? Actually, no, with Mohun Bagan, it was the best team in the league. Last season already, you saw Mumbai City spending less. And now, with City Football Group leaving, you saw over the summer that the club was trying to keep it together. And I don't see us getting relegated. I think for that, we're still too good. I think there are three, four, five teams, if relegation, first of all, is in place. But again, for us, and again, you haven't spoken about the Mizo boys that have been signed in midfield. So yeah, that's the reality. That's the reality that if you're a Mumbai City fan, is that for the moment you have to live with that. Except if they make some Indian signing now in the next 2-3 weeks, will be interesting to see because it seems like that clubs are looking at certain players who've now played Super League Kerala and others. So I'm not sure if Mumbai City is or what Mumbai City is for in the market. That will be very interesting to see, in my opinion, if you ask me. So therefore, if you're expecting Mumbai City to be Mumbai City what it was, sorry, I have to break your heart as a Mumbai City FC fan that we are at the moment not at the level that we have been in the past. Right. Right, 1 hour, 38 minutes. Once more reminder, like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot here on YouTube. 21 likes so far. Thanks a lot. 3,715. And as I say in the other times of the day, um, please look at the other videos, short videos, like them, hype them, and spread it around to other people. You know, can Dobera's system work for Mumbai's for Mohun Bagan Supergiant? Manvir Liston playing style can be a problem. Usually, Mohun Supergiant players are comfortable with defensive plays, never played much aggressive before. Blue, it's a good question. I am so far surprised that he's not making any changes to what he has. I expected at least one or two foreigners to leave and one or two Indians to come. Right? I thought he would make 3-4 changes to the squad. He's not. He said he's happy so far. It is still the 21st, so he still has 10 days to go for the transfer window. And therefore, for me, I'm interested to see what Lobera actually does. Pereira Diaz is still with Mumbai City. Yes, think Pereira Diaz as well as Jorge Ortiz, both of them are still with Mumbai City. Pereira Diaz was sought after by East Bengal, but interestingly, unlike other players, Mumbai City has not sold Pereira Diaz to East Bengal. And he's now training. If you see the videos and the pictures that are available, photos that are available, he is with them. Please come back on our sir. This is request from Mumbai City fan. It's a humble request. Ahmed, thanks a lot for the trust. Um, you know, to me, it's a big honor. Thank you that you're saying that, but it is not my decision. It is a decision of the owners, and um, so therefore, you know, let's wait and see. It's not something on me. And given the circumstances, who knows? One day, yeah, maybe to come back to Mumbai City. I've said this. I think I personally for myself have got unfinished business, but at the moment, I don't know. It's on the owners. So which youngster is the best India striker? Striker in India. Oh, I don't have anyone. Honestly, I don't striker, I don't know, right? If you ask me that way. I'm surprised he is still there, to be honest. Excluding him is better in the team. Dimi. Yeah, Dimi Petratos. I thought if you look at back at December, if you look at what all the Mohun Bagan fans or fan groups were saying and writing and all that stuff, that Dimi Petratos is sort of a gone property, that he's not staying, and he's still around, right? So I would say I'm a little surprised to say the least, but Dimi Petratos is still there, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. So you will back in football if times come. XNP, it depends on what it is, right? I am uh, um, it needs to be the right project to be coming back to India. And is it possible that once they wanted aren't coming due to the ISIL situation? Though that might also be the reality. Yes, that might be actually the real reason that Mohun Bagan Supergiant are not signing anyone. That's why I'm worried that anyone who's trying to sign players, how are you signing those players and where they're coming from? Some of the players will come out of sort of semi-retirement or haven't played or this or that, everything, because that's part of the problem at the moment, right? Our problem at the moment is that we aren't, I was shocked yesterday to see Hugo Bumus leave on loan from Odisha because Hugo Bumus was also part of that players video, to call on the league to happen and all that stuff, and thought, okay, looks like he's staying if Odisha FC are playing. Now Odisha FC, to reduce cost, have sent him on loan away. So that's the reality. See, where is Indian grassroots failing for you and what it needs to be done, at least we compete with Asian level? I mean, I always say there are five things, in my opinion, to sort out not only grassroots, but youth football as well. Grassroots youth football per se, coaching, competitions, and on top of it, scouting. So these are the five things. Five things, in my opinion, which need to be taken care of if we want Indian football to progress in the right direction. Otherwise, we're talking about things, right? But if you're, especially the coaching and the competitions aren't good at grassroots as well as at youth level. Grassroots level, it's about competition for the sake of competition so kids can play. And at youth level, it is competitive games that's needed. But again, even at youth level, I don't need winning, right? So I need my players to be ready for the next level. And that's the challenge. That's the challenge. Was a challenge, is a challenge, will be a challenge, right? So that's, um, if you if you ask me, that's our grassroots was building pre-COVID. It wasn't perfect, but with the so-called baby leagues and this and that, everything, it was starting to spread. Right? I remember, what was it? About 300 plus projects across India, grassroots level. Good. But yeah. Hypothetically, if you get back in Mumbai City FC, which team you want to beat the most? True, I don't have anyone that I would like to beat the most. For me, it is there are two, three things which I would like to achieve if I ever go back to Mumbai City. I would like to win an ISL title, which I still think, you know. Um, so for me, that is one. Second, um, create realistic pathways at Mumbai City for players to come through from the grassroots and youth system into the first team. I know that grassroots at Mumbai City still today exists. People who were there 11, 12 years ago are still there. So that I can say that, we did instill certain things and then try and build on the infrastructure and the football culture around the club. If that is one point or maybe even 2 points, like four things, right? So build on the infrastructure, grow the community and yeah, the football culture that we have. So for me, that is something which I would like to see. Difficult, tough, but which I'd like to see. FC Goa 0-7. Yeah, but Simon, I think Mumbai City has beaten FC Goa so often over the last few years. Or look at last season's semi-final, the 3-2 comeback in Goa, 2-0 down, and then 90 plus, whatever they did. For me, if you ask me about defeats, there are two defeats. the opening defeat to Atletico de Kolkata, the 0-3. But I was explaining it today about, the Nika Saleka was training till the last day and then he was suspended and couldn't play and all that stuff. Um, and losing 5-1 away to Chennai. Those were the two heaviest defeats, I would say. But I, that, to me, it's not about, for me, yeah, it's. I've got a lot of friends working at a lot of these other teams, so it's a sporting rivalry for 90 minutes, and then you should be able to speak after those 90 minutes and be friends again. That would be, in my opinion, the ideal scenario. So, if you ask me, I would like to be able to do that with my friends and challenge each other for 90 minutes, and then afterwards, you know when having a conversation afterwards, that would be nice. So yeah, that's something, um, you know would like to do as well. Right, 1 hour 46 minutes. I think I've tried to answer all your concerns. Yeah, logistics are the most important aspect. Yeah, Simon, that's the thing. So to me, a lot of things um, that can be done would be done, but who knows? Maybe I will get the chance. Maybe I will. It will never happen. Again, I personally, as I've said, feel there's unfinished business. But as I've said, maybe that will never transpire. Right. 1 hour 47 minutes. Once more, the request: like this video, share it with others who have some sort of interest in Indian football, or even not, to get them maybe interested. If you haven't, you're listening, you're liking what you're hearing, please subscribe to the channel. Um, you know, and yeah, watch the videos and spread it out. Blue says that's why AIFF is so generous. They don't want you to fight your friends. Just take a drink and talk. Maybe, maybe Blue, that is something. But yeah, it's yeah, it's sad to see where the ISL stand at this moment in time. So it's a reality. And with that, I'll slowly come to an end tonight. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you tomorrow night. See you then. Good night, everyone.